The Indiana Basketball Weekly Show on the Grueling Truth Sports Network. As always, the Grueling Truth is powered by Betting.net. Betting.net is your best bet for finding the online casino or sportsbook that's right for you. Make sure you check out Betting.net. I am your co-host for the Indiana Basketball Show, Mike Goodpaster. Right now, I'd like to welcome in my co-host, who should be smiling. Smile, Steve. There we go. The Indiana Hoosiers have made it 2 in a row with a 5-point win over the Minnesota Golden Gophers. Indiana is now 18-10, 9-9 in the Big Ten, and that's 2 in a row, Steve, and another big night for Xavier Johnson.
Yeah, definitely. Xavier comes through with 24 points, 24 big points. What's just solid is the notes that I took down was what he did with his play now. He's up the tempo of the game under control. He's done that. He's involved other players. The players are playing a little more fiercely right now than they were 5 games ago because he's playing a lot more fiercely. Everybody's getting into it and starting to have fun again. But this is what we've talked about all season long, Mike, is this team was in desperate need of somebody up on top on the perimeter and on the point who could handle the rock and make things happen for this basketball team. And we never doubted that there was enough talent there for this team to compete in the Big Ten. And now that he's elevated his play, and we got Finney back to give him some rest, and Rod looked okay for his first outing. I'm sure we'll get into that today, but some very positive things happening for this basketball team right now at a very critical time. I saw in the latest bubble picks that we are now moved back up into the first 4 out rather than the first 4 or the first 4 in.
First 4 in now.
Last 4 in,
and that was before this win. Yeah.
Yeah, and so now we should have solidified ourselves, maybe even get out of that bubble. And, we got ourselves back to 500 in the Big Ten. We've got a couple tough tests coming up this week. We have to go minimum 500 and make a showing. But these are all things we'll break down and talk about in today's show. Overall, solid effort by Indiana. I know we didn't like the way the game ended. With 8 minutes to go, we were up by 25. We ended up winning by 5. But, I'm telling you, the barn is a very hostile place to play. I played there 4 years, and it's a very hostile environment. And Indiana held the pressure. Mike really put the test to him. He wasn't going to call timeout. He was going to let them ride it out and make them earn the win. And I like that. I really like the fact that he took a chance on these kids and said, no, this is yours to win or yours to lose. And, they came through. They hung in there. They made free throws when they had to. They made plays when they needed to. And I'll tell you, they played good perimeter defense. These guys, Minnesota, just hitting everything they threw up for a while.
Yeah, and luckily Indiana hit most of what they threw up all night. They hit 55.6% from field goal or 2-point range, or overall 55.6%. They were 47.6 from the 3-point range. You only had a total of 10 turnovers. I think the big thing for me with Xavier Johnson that stuck out to me is around the 5 or 6 minute mark, he actually passed up 2 open looks at threes and fed the ball into the post. Now, it didn't turn out that great, but the fact was, that to me is showing that you're trying to make sure everybody is included in this game, which is what a point guard's supposed to do. You're supposed to get everybody involved in the game. And put it like this, Steve, if I'd have told you last show that the game at Minnesota, Race Thompson would score 8 points and Trace Jackson Davis would score 14, would you think we'd have won?
No, not at all. I would have thought we'd have been looking at and crying our sorrows and wondering how the Big Ten or the NIT was going to turn out, or sitting here doing a show talking about how we can win the Big Ten tournament if these things all fall into place. But that's all off the table for right now.
And I'll tell you, off the bench, I think Rob Finney, didn't play a long time, but he was 3 for 6, 2 for 4 from 3-point range. For not playing in well over a month, 8 points. The thing is, right now, Xavier Johnson is the guy. But Rob Finney can step up if need be. We've seen him do that before. Hell, the last time we saw him on the court against Purdue, he hit the game-winning shot. And the other guy that stood out to me was Jordan Geronimo, who I thought was really productive off the bench. He scored 10 points, 4 for 5 field goals. Overall, I mean, to me, when you go to Minnesota, you go anywhere on the road to Big Ten. I don't care if you were up 500 points and only won by a point. They won. In the end, that's all that matters. And also, this is a team that 2 weeks ago in this same scenario probably loses this game. And Xavier Johnson at the end of the game step up. He hit the free throws. They win the game. I don't have anything to complain about here because Minnesota is a Big Ten basketball team. They have plenty of talent on that team. The Battle Kids, Stevens, and of course Willis, who seemed like hit everything he threw up at the end. I mean, so this to me is a good win. It's on the road. Now you've set yourself up where I really think a win against Rutgers solidifies this team being in the dance.
Oh, I would agree with you entirely. I would agree 100% that this actually would solidify us into the dance.
That was weird, Steve. There's 2 of you up on the screen now. You're all right. Just sit tight. Don't do anything, and we'll be fine. All right, right now, guys.
No. We got to fix this because.
Fix what? Why? What's going on?
Hang on.
You're fine the way you are right now because nobody can see the other one. Oh, there goes Steve. All right, guys. Right now, I want to bring up the fact if you want to bet on Indiana against Rutgers here in a couple days, you can go to betting.net and you can head over. You can see for yourself that betting.net makes it easy to find all the legal online casino or sports books in your state. And if you were betting that Steve would not figure out how to get back on the show, if you were betting Steve wouldn't be able to figure out how to get back on the show, you got lost. Good odds, but you lost because Steve figured it out.
Sorry, folks, that was on me.
All right, so do you have any? I mean, what are your biggest concerns right now with this team headed into the Rutgers game?
I think the one thing that it pertains to the last 8 minutes of the ball game. I'd like to see this team have more of a killer instinct. It just doesn't have that I've got you down. Now I'm going to punish you. And it historically is a team that plays great for 30 minutes. And we've talked about this through in and out the season. And then for some inexplicable reason, comes down to the last 10 minutes of the game. It morphs from this team as playing to win for 30 minutes. And check me if I'm wrong. I mean, formulate your answer and response. But it's playing 30 minutes of playing to win. And all of a sudden, the last 10 minutes, it starts playing not to lose. Now, I don't know if it's player, if it's coaching, or if it's a combination of both, or if it's just my imagination. Well, but there's been too many times where we've had a game I thought under control. Even in the 5 we lost in a row, I thought there were a couple of those that, it's tight, but we've got this game under control. We got players playing good. We're hitting shots. Our free throw percentages are up over 70%. You don't want to really foul us because we're likely to 70% chance minimum we're going to make it. And then we just start collapsing. And it was a monumental collapse tonight, but they fought it off and got the win this time, which is far cry different than from the previous 5 games. Take back the 1 game. What do you think about that? Or do you even have a thought?
I think this. I think tonight was kind of senior night in Minnesota. I think those kids weren't ready to give up yet. They were down, 26 or 27 at one point. And I think you just had a guy at Willis who got hot. And sometimes that happens. I mean, in the end, they did win the game. It didn't feel like to me they were trying not to lose the game.
But we were making turnovers in our backcourt. I mean, they were stealing the ball from us. I agree. If some player just gets hot and starts hitting shots from everywhere, like a Steph Curry would do to you.
Yeah, but it was kind of like Todd Leary against Duke in the '92 Final Four.
How many turnovers did Xavier Johnson have?
He only had 1.
He only had 1 turnover?
And I know it's the one you're
late in the
thinking
game.
of, too.
It was late in the game.
It was late in the game, but I mean, a
Yeah.
point guard who handles the ball every play that only turns
Right.
the
It's
ball
going to
over
make. Yeah.
once.
I don't begrudge
Yeah,
that
I
whatsoever.
think
You're
that
right.
stands out to you just because of how bad of a turnover it was at that point.
Yeah, but I thought he had more throughout the game. But that's okay then. I mean, no, I never a point guard. His job responsibility of handling that rock. He was getting double teamed like crazy, and people trying to steal the ball from him and everything. But I just thought we were made. But that's okay. I mean, at this point in time, I don't want to knock down anything this team's doing. They're in a dogfight and they're biting more than they're getting bit right now. 2 games in a row for this team. They've got 2 tough teams to play. I mean, Rutgers is physical. They're big. They're coming in here knowing they can knock us out. I think they're in the same boat we're in, aren't they?
Yeah, only the thing is they've lost their last couple games now.
Yeah.
They were hot for a while. They've kind of
Yeah.
dropped off. They're big, they're physical up front.
It's a huge win for them to come into Bloomington at
Yeah,
Assembly Hall and win.
this is a huge win for either team right now because
Yeah.
both teams are bubble teams right now. And this is a game where if Rutgers wins, they're going to finish ahead of Indiana in the Big Ten standings. If Indiana wins this game, they're right up there. So when you look at that, everything Indiana wants is right in front of them right now. And that's the first time we've been able to say that for a while. Now, the COVID year, I think Indiana was on the break of making the tournament.
Sure.
It's not necessarily the same thing, but that was a squeak in too. But this team to me feels different.
I agree. It's entirely different. I think it's on Mike's shoulders that it's different. I think that Mike's firiness on the sideline and his firiness with his players. I think that they bought into Mike's philosophy and coaching style, and I think they're playing for Mike and playing for themselves. So I agree with you entirely. This team is different than any team we've seen in maybe the last 10, 11, 12 years.
Yeah, and I think this is a team, a lot of people, you said it too before, where you said that you thought that they weren't really playing that hard.
Yeah.
I've never questioned that. I mean,
they played hard this tonight.
I think they've always played hard, but they've been a rudderless ship until Xavier Johnson. You have to have a leader. You can play hard, but if nobody steps up to lead the team, it has a hard time converting into wins, if you know what I mean.
I don't know. I guess I go back to our day when it was a completely different era. And
I say Isaiah better, Thomas.
Not a better. Well, yeah, we had Isaiah, but every game we played in, somebody on the other team got knocked on their ass for something.
Yeah, but you're not allowed to do that anymore.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Now with all these what are they called? Not intentional fouls.
The flagrants.
Flagrants. It's like you can't do what we used to do. You just come down court, you're pissed and say, okay, I'm fucking knocking McHale on. I'm not sorry for my French. I'm knocking McHale on his ass this time.
Is the F word really a French word?
I don't know.
Well, Joe's on here right now, and he says that IU is going to be dancing, baby. Joe, look up real quick and see if the F word is really a French word.
Yeah, I don't think it is.
Patrick, glad to have you listening again. He says a great win. So when we look at this, though, I think this is what we wanted because we're set up to make the NCAA basketball tournament. The Rutgers game is at home. Rutgers has not played as well the last couple games. I think it's a really winnable game. I watched, Purdue lose to Michigan State at Michigan State yesterday. Of course, everybody ranked in the top 10, it seemed, lost yesterday. But I don't think this is a for sure going to Purdue and getting our ass whipped next weekend. I think the way IU's playing right now, they can stay in the game. I mean, I don't think they're necessarily going to get their doors blown off. I'm not going to say they're going to win, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility.
Oh, I think Indiana's got the talent to play with. We did. We played with them at Bloomington. We beat them at Bloomington. So I don't not doubt for 1 minute that we don't match up with them well. And I mean, I think our inside game, while they may be bigger and taller, I'm not sure that ours aren't better.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, I know they've got a great guard.
Playing.
Yeah,
they don't have any more for Xavier Johnson than we do. Who's their good point guard? I can't remember his name.
Yeah. You can't remember their good point guard's name?
Yeah.
Come on, Steve.
Oh, okay, what is it? You can't remember it either.
What's what, Steve? It's they're cards. I do, Steve.
They're star players.
You're talking about Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey. Jaden Ivey's who you're talking about.
Okay, Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
I think right now, if Xavier can play Ivey head to head and just play him head to head and neutralize him, I just cussed at Joseph. No, I didn't cuss at Joseph.
Who said you cussed at Joseph?
Oh no, you ask him. You ask Joseph to look up.
Joseph says, "I'm trying to watch you guys with closed caption, but I think one of you just cussed at me." LOL. We really didn't. True. We really didn't. Joe's doing a radio show right now.
I think that if Xavier can neutralize Ivey, I think our inside play is every bit as good as theirs. If we can get another good game out of Rob's going home. Rob's playing in his own backyard.
Yeah.
I mean, I think he went to Edgewood. Is it Edgewood? Yeah, I think he went to Edgewood High School.
And for the last time.
So this would be he's going to have a lot of people there wanting to root him on. Be a monumental win for him. He comes in and gives us a good, solid effort. There's no reason we can't win this game. Geronimo, everybody in Indiana all of a sudden has stepped up their game. Let's not underestimate, too. We're back over 50% in shooting again.
Yeah, for the last 2 games we have been.
Yeah, 2 games in a row. So this is no fluke that we just had 1 game where we shot well. We've got our shot back. We've got our step back, our spring back. We're controlling tempo again. We're playing like we did earlier in the year. And what's encouraging to me is we're doing it against better talent than we've done it against anybody all season long.
Yeah, and when you look at Rutgers, who they play Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, which means we'll be live 15 minutes after that game Wednesday night. Rutgers, over their last 7 or 8 games, they had a 21-point win over Michigan State. They followed that up with a win over Ohio State. They beat Wisconsin at Wisconsin. They blew out Illinois. But then, the last 3 games, they lose 84-72 to Purdue. They lose 71-62 to Michigan. They got beat 66-61 by Wisconsin. They're on a 3-game losing streak. So you can look at it one of 2 ways. They're coming in here, we're hot, they're not. Or they're coming in here and they're basically fighting for their lives. This is an absolute must-win for Rutgers if they want to make the tournament, probably.
It's a must-win for both teams.
I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I think it is for Rutgers.
Who does Rutgers finish the season with?
Rutgers finishes with Penn State.
All right, so they're probably going to get that win.
They should, but that win, does that really help you that much if you lose to Indiana?
Yeah. I mean, obviously a quad 1 win at Purdue would lock us. It would raise our seeding.
Yeah, it would make Indiana probably a 9 or 10 seed. Maybe even an 8 if you get a win or 2 in the Big Ten tournament.
Right, yeah. So, but I don't, anything else, it was a well-played Indiana effort tonight. I think that, they built a strong lead. They showed they could do it with good shooting, with good shot selection. Defensively, I'm always crying for more help down inside and guys not just focusing on sticking to their man. That's always, there's never not going to be room for improvement in that on my book because my tenure at IU was totally defensive. I was not a 2,000-point scorer like Woodson was. I was a 2,000 knock somebody in the head hitman.
They would call you Steve Flagrant Risley if you played.
Yep,
they would also call you home after about 4 games.
Yep.
You'd be working at Walmart. So
the Big Ten game would not have been as fun for me at that point in time as they would not be for me right now if I had to live through what they have to live through right now.
All right, Steve. Well, we're going to go ahead and wrap it up unless you got anything else you want to add.
No, I really don't. I think, we would be back into the Department of Redundancy department. I think they played well. They got a crucial win they had to have. I was 50-50 on this game before it happened because the barn is a difficult place to play. I'm telling you, it's not an easy win there for anybody to come in there and win.
Hey, let me ask you the important thing, Steve. Did you watch episode 10 of 1883 yet?
No, I have not.
You need to watch it. I watched it this morning with my wife. It was good.
I know. I checked it out and turned it on, spoofed my wife, and I said, "No, we got to do this tonight. We're getting some Kentucky Fried Chicken tonight, and we're gonna sit back and watch." It's the final episode, right?
Yeah, the 10th there. It's the 10th episode. Hopefully it'll be another season, but I won't give anything away, but it will tip you off whether there may be or not. How about that?
Yeah. Well, like I said, that would be a different show. I'm sure most of the IU people listening probably don't have Paramount and don't care about 1883 the way you and I do.
Hey, but damn it, get Paramount and watch 1883 and watch Yellowstone, but 1883 is better. All right, guys.
And now 1935. Now 1935 is coming, which is the second part, which is why I don't think there's going to be a second season of 1883.
I'm not going to say anything. I will let you watch the season conclusion. All right, guys. I won't do it like I do with, IU basketball games early in the season when you're DVRing it and I call you, you believe this crap? But we're going to wrap it up.
I got a bone to pick with Kyle Larson, though, who won the NASCAR race after crashing out Chase Elliott, who was going for the lead.
Well, I have to tell you this. It doesn't matter because we have a guy that writes the articles on who to bet for the races. I think Kyle Larson was in that article as one of the guys you should bet. So that's a shout out to Joe Spillman.
Well, you got to cheat to win. Cheat to win, buddy.
Yeah, whatever. That just sounds like you're a Chase Elliott fan and you lost.
Yes, I am.
All right. All right, guys.
He wrecked his teammate.
Well, you and Joe should do a show about it.
Let's get out of here. We're talking IU basketball.
No, we're talking NASCAR right now.
It's a good win for Mike. I think the key coaching move was Mike not calling a timeout.
I thought that was a horrible move, and I think that's why the game ended up close.
Yeah, but I think it taught the players some. I agree with you. If you listened to me, if you had a mic on when I was sitting there watching the game, my wife will tell you I was cussing Mike out upside and down. Get a timeout. Get a timeout. And he did not, and I think it panned out.
This is not the NBA, and this is not the 1976 or 81.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Yeah. So these guys have kind of got to be taught to win.
They need to be taught to.
But we won, so I'm not bitching about anything. We will be back Wednesday night, somewhere around 9:15, 9:30, hopefully to talk about a third straight Hoosier win. You can follow Steve on Twitter at srisley34, correct?
Well, you can follow me on Facebook, too. I just won't respond.
Yeah, because he hasn't figured out how to fix that.
Well, because we're working on that. IT hasn't helped me figure out how to do that.
Because I haven't talked to him yet. So, okay. All right, guys, and you can follow me at Grueling Truth. And don't forget, it's not just sports betting. Betting.net compares the best online casinos. So sit back, relax, and play the top online slots, poker, and table games. All right, we're going to wrap it up. We'll see you Wednesday night after the Indiana game. But for now, for Steve Risley, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been watching and listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legend